Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So today we've got a slightly different setup where we are, well, not different. We're using the same setup we used for the birthday. So there's not going to be mic permission set on straight away. We're going to allow that to come on a little bit later. But it's lovely, lovely, lovely to see everyone. Can you all just confirm that the chat box works for you? Just pop a little hello in there. Perfect. And you can all hear me okay? Ah, from the USA. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hey, Leslie. Hello, Catherine. Hey, Les. Welcome back. Jim, welcome. Right, let me pop you up into panelist. Hello, Jim. Right, how are you there? Can you hear? Can you turn on your mic and everything? Okay. Have you set up your sound?
I'm set up. I'm ready to go.
Perfect. So I'm just going to make you the host. All good. Can you see those features there? Right.
Okay, so I can see, no, I cannot see polling at the bottom.
Oh, don't worry about that. Do you need to use that now? Do you want us to run on?
No, I'm cool. No, I can see Q&A, which is good, and I'll set up chat in another window.
Perfect. So there's 11 of us here so far. I mean, there's like 13 of us here so far, which is perfect. Nice and early. The early crowd. So I think we've had over 80 signups, which is just amazing. Oh my God, wow. Welcome from South Africa. Mama Sedi, Maleka. I hope I said that well. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Keith. Right. Perfect. So I guess you guys can hear okay. Do any of you, we're going to be having the show and tell as usual and having an opportunity for you to let us know any problems that you're having so we can provide you with support on that. Does anyone think so far that they're going to want to use that or want to show some work? Just let me know in the chat. I think we can use ones and twos, right? So if we use ones for number one for a yes and number two for a I'm okay, thank you very much. I think that'll be nice and easy. So does anyone want to present anything? Anyone have any issues they're working on? Les, yep. We've got Les down already, don't we? Jim?
Sorry?
Have we got Les on the list to show and tell or anything? We do, don't we?
He's in the slides, certainly, yes.
Perfect, good. Don't worry, Les, we've got you covered. Anyone else? See who's there? Who else is here? Okay, you've got a question for Q&A. Feel free to use the little Q&A button. Can you see that Q&A button? Hey, Mike. Oh, there's Mike. Let me get Mike up on our list of panelists. Hello, Techi. So where are you, Mike? I can't see you in the list. Oh, because people keep joining, so it keeps moving. It's 15 of us now. Right, let me sort that out for you. Where is Mike? Now, why can't I do that for Mike? Oh, I'm not the host anymore. Jim, could you please upgrade Mike?
Sure. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Participants, let's have a look. Attendees, right. We are looking for Keith is there. Hello, Keith.
Yeah.
Hello, Les. Mike Kellner. All right.
Yeah, Mike, exactly.
I think we'll promote you. You have three stripes on your sleeve, Mike. And there, there he is. And there he is in real life. Hello.
It is the Mike in real life. Right. So we're all a bit early. Does anyone? How's everyone been? How's the situation been for everyone? How's business been? Business been good? Been interesting? Anyone had any like overwhelmingly busy periods of time recently? I know, Mike, you've had. Spotty, Catherine says. Okay. Interesting. Mike, how's yours been?
Good, busy, still busy.
Always busy.
Busy. Been good. I've just done a really nice piece of automation on WordPress for a client. So really looking forward to doing that as a show and tell one of the future meetups for sure.
Okay, so not today? Not today?
It's up to you guys. If you've got space, otherwise I can come back another time.
We will make space.
Right, always good to hear from the master.
Yeah. Okay, so Mama Sedi, you're saying that business is slow. South Africa, a hard lockdown. Yeah, I've been watching. I was actually planning a trip out to South Africa, and I noticed the other day this SA's locked down till 2021. So that's cancelled. 2020 in South Africa is cancelled. All right, perfect. So yeah, we're about 20 people in now. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Jim, if you pop the agenda up, then we can start telling them how they are. Oh, hello, okay. Michael. How are you? It's been a little while. It's so lovely seeing so many new, not faces necessarily, but new people, as well as, our, consistent kind of team,
Long established members.
Yeah. I feel like they're all in the team with us. Hey, Rob. Oh, perfect. Rob's here. Good. So hopefully I know that Rob mentioned that you mentioned, Rob, you're having technical issues. So we may need to talk through Rob's issues for him, but we've got the slides for you, Rob, so that's fine. And we'll make sure that we get everyone feeding in. So we're probably going to kick off in a few minutes. I know there's not that many people here, but we're going to wait for that. Oh, Astrid, you're also in South Africa. So we must have done some good marketing towards South Africa. How long have you all been using Elementor? Could you pop that in the chat? I want to see how many new people we've got. And 3 years. Catherine, 3 years. I hope you plan to show some of your work. 2 years. Astrid bought it 1 week ago. Yes, love it. 6 months, Michael Payne. Yep. Rob Cox about a year. Wow, has it already been that long, Rob? That's so interesting. I remember Rob, when you were saying you just started using it. 20 sites Keith has done. Nick has been here with 12 to 18 months with this. I was going to say years. 9 months, Mama Sedi. So you're about freshly born as an Elementor user. Only the Pro Edition for 6 months. Okay, what are the big differences? How many people have got? Oh, Madrid. We've got Madrid in the room. Hello, Angel. Hey, So how many of you are actually using Pro? Just pop a number 1 if you're using Pro. In there. Interesting. 12 to 18 years. Yeah. Yeah, you invented it. Pro. Nice. Quite a lot of Pro users here. And I'm going to guess our newbies. I mean, one of you said that you did buy it a week ago, so that's still Pro. Okay, Adrian's been using Pro for a year. 3 years Pro with Angel. And do you find the benefits? Do you see the real benefits of having Pro? Good stuff, Catherine. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to talk about Elementor experts. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Stephen. Oh, nice. Stephen's also in London. So, yeah, like, what is your favorite feature in Pro? Everyone, just let me know. Even before version 2. Nice. Nice. So that's even older than us, isn't it? Because we just had our first birthday. Templates. Okay. CPTs. Just started to use it. Pro from the first site. Nice. Jim, it says viewing your screen. Yes, everyone, there's a very, very interesting news to tell you. Jim is he's hosting today. And Mike and I are speaking within that. Right? So for those of you, did we have cake for the birthday? Well, obviously I had cake because any excuse to have cake. Mike, did you have any cake? I don't think Mike can hear us at the moment. Mike's probably off. Jim, how about you? Did you have cake?
Cake? No, we've had a lot of lockdown cake over the last few weeks, but nothing today. We're caked out.
Yeah. No, we're going to definitely have to, when we meet back up, we're going to definitely have to have a real birthday celebration birthday event. A couple of changes happening. We may even be moving venue. I'm thinking when we get back of moving offices more into Southwark, just because I know a lot of people travel into London and we've got the Waterloo station right there. So it should reduce the journey time for quite a lot of people who usually drive in. I'm not driving, commute in. But that's a maybe if we're not at Paddington, which is also a great spot and has been. Right, so people are enjoying templates, people are enjoying pop-ups, dynamic content. Yeah, the hello theme builder, exactly, Paul. That's actually one of my favorite themes. Hello at the moment. Yep, Michael's at Borough, exactly, yeah, it is near Borough Market, exactly. So maybe we should just meet up at Borough Market for the first one and just have all the cake they've got in the market. I think that's an idea. Maybe even get them to make an Elementor cake for us. Those of you who've been with us in person, do you remember our little Elementor cupcakes? I'm missing those. Had no reason to order cupcakes for ages, apart from pure greed. So you'll notice here, we've really, really grown as a community. I think last year when I started, co-hosting or co-leading, co-organizing with Mike, I can't remember how many we had, but I'm sure we had double digits. I'm sure we had less than 100. And it's just beautiful to see how much we've grown. Today, at the most recent point when we updated that number, it was 654 members. But if I am right, I think even now we've already grown by a couple more members. So I'm going to let you kick off, Jim, because quite a few people I think are looking for the link, which is in the meetup area, but just in case, I'm gonna go over and help them out. So do you want to take over, Jim?
Yeah, sure, I'll fire away. So hello everybody. I'm going to try to keep an eye on what's happening to my left and right. So I've got an eye on the chat here, but I think Tanisha and Mike will be monitoring that maybe a bit more closely than I will. So I'll just step through the slides if I may. A few of you did respond today about issues and showcasing. I'm afraid I wasn't able to include absolutely everybody. So I can't see from here, but Francesca, if you're there, Francesca Giordano, maybe you can air your issue in the Q&A, which is coming up later on. Okay, so let's step through the slides. So hopefully everyone can see these. So tonight's agenda, we're going to step through some just updates about the community as it's changed since the last time we met. I've been harassing you all with surveys, so we're going to have a look at some of the headlines for that tonight. And there should be also a link in the chat area, if not now, then shortly, where you can fill in tonight. And that survey is very, very short. It's just a question about the hot topics that you want us to cover over the next few months. And as you'll see later on, it's also going to guide us as to the forums that we can put in on the community forum we're just about to start up. Then we're going to do some introductions via the chat box. We're going to tell you about what's new in Elementor. Tanisha's going to speak about Elementor Experts, a new beta initiative from Elementor themselves. Then we're going to get down to you guys. So we're going to do some troubleshooting. There's a couple of sites with a couple of different issues. Bear with us while we go through that. So that'll be from Keith and also someone else whose name escapes me at the moment. And then we're going to be showcasing with Les. So Les is going to show us a few highlights from his site. I've got some slides for that, and we may even have a live demo. And then the longer section, the Q&A. So it's your chance to put your Q&A in, not surprisingly, the Q&A box, and we'll come to that later. So Tanisha's going to be trying to kind of collate those questions and make a kind of a list that we can go through in that section towards the end. And then right at the end, if you have managed to fill out that survey and what you think are the top topics to cover, we'll come back to that right at the end of tonight. So that's the agenda. Let's get on to the community update. So Tanisha stroke Mike, fire away. What's the news?
So Mike, are you here? Where is Mike? He's probably ended up getting a...
I'm here.
Oh, there you
That's
are.
good. I thought you were on furlough even
Yeah,
tonight.
we're following yourself on this call.
I've left. I've gone.
So, everyone, Mike is going to tell you a little story about how he's furloughed himself for 6 months or more. Go ahead, Mike.
So it's really down to the strength of the community. that we've got some brilliantly talented people who during the first year have really shown that they're able to kind of lead the community and really contribute and build on the community. And so it's great that first Tanisha came in to support the community and to lead events alongside me, and more recently Jim, who is doing and will continue to do a wonderful job in finding kind of, you know, the real hot topics that you guys want to continue to discuss and to evolve. So whilst I focus on my own business for the next 6 months or longer, I am going to step back and allow Jim and Tanisha to take the lead. So thank you very much, both Tanisha and Jim, and also all the other people who have really kind of made this a supportive community along the way. And one day I hope to be back.
Well, we know that we're going to keep contacting you. I will try my best to make you come back.
Giant boots to fill for at least 6 months.
Yeah, well, we'll try our best, but we all like Mike, so Mike can always welcome. As soon as you want to come back, let me know when you want me to make you the host.
Thank you.
Assign you hosting privileges.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, so we've had 2 new people join in. Let me actually pop Tetchy on here. So yeah, Jim obviously is joining. Jim's going to be. Oh, Jim, you probably have to do Tetchy yourself, so he can speak.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
So Jim has joined, and Jim will be doing what Mike does, what Mike was doing previously, which is basically doing most of the talking and hosting during the session. And I'll continue to do what I do, which is anything complimentary, supporting you guys, popping in the chat, just being all around helpful. I'll continue to run the Q&A sessions, provide you with all the updates, and everything like that from Elementor. So that's what we're going to do. And then Tetchy's going to be working with us on marketing. So we've been looking and planning and thinking about how we can support our community more, because it's very clear that the whole meetup notification process doesn't really work that well, because a lot of people, including myself, to be honest with you, do put meetup notifications on mute or whatever it is. We turn them off. And that does mean that even though there are over 650 members, meetup might not be the best way to communicate with everyone. So Tetchy and will be working with us to work on that and to kind of brainstorm on that and put things in place. So do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit for people who haven't met you?
Okay, hello guys. My name is Tajettin. I'm from Turkey. I'm doing this web page designing for almost 1.5 years. And before that, I was doing marketing and export-import business. That's why I'm very much into sales and marketing. And that's the part that I can have for these friends about my experiences.
Yeah, perfect. So the good thing is that you know, the range of expertise is really growing, because we'll definitely be able to always speak to Jim and myself and Tetchy for anything technical. As you all know, I'm always jumping in with the solution as I teach with Elementor anyway. So you'll have a lot of business, you know, discussion coming from me as usual, how to use Elementor to grow your business, how to work in your business, and you'll be able to catch up there with me here, as well as through Elementor themselves, because I'll be working on the Tuesday tips with Verdi coming from July onwards. So you'll still have that. Obviously Tetchy as well, to discuss things to do with marketing and Elementor, so using the marketing plugins, marketing tools. And because he plays around with those a lot, hopefully he'll also bring some of his troubles and problems here, so we can also help him troubleshoot those. Yeah, perfect. And then obviously Jim, superstar.
Well, not really, no. I'm going to say probably my role is, I mean, I didn't start doing Elementor stuff until, January of last year. I've learned a lot in the last 18 months, but I'm in a kind of fortunate position, and everybody who's a kind of newbie tonight, I've trod all the path that you're about to tread or have trod over the last year. So I've got a fantastic insight into, yeah, I wish I knew that then, and hopefully I'll be able to help you out with some of that stuff that I've learned in that kind of short time that I've been at it. And also I'm looking forward to looking more like my photograph on the 5th of July. because my hair is a bit mad. So that's not too distracting. All right.
Right.
So
Yeah. So that's the
let's
change.
crack on. Tanisha, yes, we've got some general stuff there about how to contact us, stay in touch.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we usually remind you guys about our QR codes, but that's because we're usually offline. But we just wanted to remind you that there is the option to join the WhatsApp group. If you want to do that, just pop a message to me, just, you know, in the chat box, and just say you want to join the group. And I can do that for you. Make sure it's private, obviously, so you can give me the number. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. Benefits of the WhatsApp group is that they're usually the first to find out about new Elementor meetups. So we usually announce to the group before we announce elsewhere. And also, we usually send things like discounts that come out and lots of buzzy information there. Yeah, please. Okay, perfect. Pop that in. Thank you, Stephen. But everyone else, just pop it in private. I'm just going to copy that out, Stephen. Thank you. And then we'll just make sure that we add you all to the WhatsApp community so we can just engage there. So that's that. Then we also have the LinkedIn group. Now, I think James is in. Did I see James earlier? Not sure if I saw James in the participant list. Let me have a look. I think James is here. Nope, James is not here. No. So James Moore has been helping out with the LinkedIn group, but James is going to be also following himself a little bit from LinkedIn because he's also gotten quite busy. So we're definitely open to members of the community who already like to use LinkedIn and would like to support us in managing that space. I think that would be great. Yes, of course you can. So I think that would be absolutely perfect. What I'll do is just give it a second, everyone. I'll just change the all panelists where the 2 is. Just change that to me. What am I called here? Am I called apples and pears or something? Probably, right? Let me double check that, and then I'll add you all in. Yeah. So the LinkedIn group is for that. I would really like someone in the community to come along and work with us on building out the LinkedIn group, because a lot of people do prefer LinkedIn, and we won't be using Facebook for groups because that's where the main Elementor group is. So we can connect with attendees, share our work, collaborate on projects, and we do that through there. And then useful resources over at our website, which is thewebcreatorstoolbox.com. You can head over there. /Elementor is fine as well, but once you head over there, there's resources, there's businesses we recommend, there's tools we recommend, etc. So you can pop over there and see all of that. And then we've got a new feature that I'll tell you about in a moment as well, based on feedback. Yeah, I know, Joe. So that's those links, those things there. So just so you know. Do you want to go to the next slide, please?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so is this you?
Well, yeah, it is. So what I was going to say was we're just about to go through the survey results. I've been harassing all of you at least all the people who signed up for this event had a chance to click on the link and go through a brief survey so we can find out kind of your background and the kind of things that hot topics you'd like to cover. And also, very importantly, give you an opportunity to volunteer either to a showcase maybe or just raise some issues. There will be a Q&A at the end of this, so if you didn't manage to get in on time, don't worry, there may be an opportunity at the end. But that survey, watch out for that between now and the next meeting, because it's very useful in Meetup and WhatsApp to be able to fill in that survey and let us know in advance what you'd like to cover in these meetings. So what I'm going to do tonight is just briefly cover the results of the survey that we've just done. And hopefully Tanisha will be putting in a link that you can fill in even tonight. Perfect.
I've just popped the WhatsApp link in there, and I'm about to pop the survey link as well. So
okay, that's
anyone
cool.
who wants to join WhatsApp, you can click on that link.
Yep.
I'm going to pop the survey in a moment.
And then click on the survey if you want, and then that's it's not really a survey tonight. It's literally just what do you want us to cover? And right at the end, if I manage to master the technology, we might even get to see what it is that you've responded with. So I'll keep on going then and find out what it is you've said so far. So first thing to notice is we didn't get overwhelmed with responses. I know we only surveyed the people who'd said yes to coming to this meeting. How many people have we got actually turned up tonight so far, Tanisha?
We've got 34 in now.
It's about what we expected. So we didn't get overwhelmed with the responses, but the good thing is it's not too dissimilar from what happened the last time we surveyed people. It does look as if most of you, like over 60% of you, have built at least 2 sites, which is useful for us to know. So it's a fairly experienced community, but always plenty of slots for newbies to find out like I was, as I say, 18 months ago, how everything works and get your questions answered. How many hours a week? Well, it seems like, again, quite a lot of you, 70% odd, is spending quite a lot of your week on Elementor, which is useful to know. Would you be interested in contributing to an online forum? Absolutely, you would. 8 out of 10 of you would like to be able to do that. So, of course, we've listened, and here is a very brief snapshot of what that forum will look like. Where's it going to be hosted? Where else but the webcreatorstoolbox.com/forums. And you can go and look in there. It's in a kind of beta state at the moment. One of the first contributions has been from some insane person called Zob Maven. That was me. I will change my nickname at some point. But that's a good opportunity for us to put some forums in there and get people kind of working, as we hope you will do over the next few months, as a kind of working community, helping each other out. And some of the forums that we'll put in there, the top forums that we'll put in, will be shaped very much by what actually you said in the survey was items that were of interest to you. So let's have a look at what some of those might be, but not before we've had a look at presenting issues. So a couple of you did respond and say you'd like to ask for some assistance tonight. So we've got both of you in with some slides. I'll come to you guys later. Thank you very much.
Hold on a second. There's an issue.
Please.
People are saying they don't have the link. Mike, did we have this problem before? I can't remember what it was when we had it last time at the birthday. So I'm sending mine to all
I can
panelists.
see that link.
You can see the link.
So
that's because it's all panelists.
All panelists.
All panelists and attendees.
Yeah.
And that goes for everyone. If you want to
yes.
on this evening, do make sure that you've got it set to all panelists and attendees.
There we go.
Cool. Right. Thank you, Tanisha. Just cracked the tech. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So a couple of you volunteered for that. Thank you very much. We'll come to you guys later. I hope you find what we're going to do very, very useful. And for the rest of you, don't be shy. I'm sure everyone's got lots of problems. And whenever you put an issue up on a forum like this, there's going to be another 5-10 people saying, I'm glad he or she said that, because that's been foxing me as well. So you speak for others usually when you bring forward issues. So please don't be shy. Wait for the next invite and volunteer. Yeah. And we got Les, brave Les, is going to have a go tonight and give us a few slides and maybe even a live demo. So thank you very much for that, Les, and we'll see that later. So finally, these are the topics that you had the top of the list. So design was top of the list, closely followed by, well, in fact, level pegging with speed, optimization, and there's probably quite a lot we could say about that, probably not tonight. I know the top tip, I don't know, Tanisha, Tachi, Mike, kind of top tips you've had over the last, in your experience, but I know that whenever anyone raises speed optimization in the Facebook groups I belong to, everyone says hosting, hosting, and hosting. Would you agree?
Yeah, it does have a massive part to play. But also sometimes it's to do with the file sizes, like the length of time, the site is taking to pull up the data and what you've got there, whether you're hosting the videos live or hosting them through YouTube, or on occasion, I know some people think Vimeo is a much better option than YouTube. So there are a few factors. Mike, do you want to pitch in?
The only thing I would add is the amount of plugins, and if any of those plugins are quite resource intensive in terms of loading too many JavaScript files.
Yeah, perfect.
I think, Tachi, you've got anything to add? Anything your experience is kind of slowing things down for you or other people you know?
For the speed optimization, you can, yes, plugins, very important what you choose, and you should delete what you are not using. First, when you build a website, you need to be very much sure what you're going to use, what you don't need it, because they affect very much. And pictures, images, they are very much effective for the speed. You need to be very, very much careful. I think 80 kilobytes to 100 is very good size for the speed, but otherwise it affects very badly. And the names and the ways, if it's PNG, JPEG, everything affects us. we need to be very much careful for the speed optimization.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, we could probably devote a whole evening to that and not get to the end of it, but those top three were the ones that we'll probably set up then in the forums and look to address in future meetings, and you can read the rest for yourselves. Lower down the list were things like, interestingly, backup and migration, DNS and domains. So the kind of more technical stuff outside of Elementor that about running a site, those seem to be well, either well covered or just not a concern for most people. But let's see what happens by the end of tonight. If more of you have filled in some of these questions, we might get this list turned on its head. I feel like I'm hosting an election night. Okay, so let's have some introductions if we could. So this is the time to fire away at your keyboards and let us know around this Zoom using the chat box. If you could just answer maybe 3 questions. Where are you Zooming from? I know this keeps saying rather increasingly inappropriately London Elementor, but I know London's, you know, pretty big capital and a big melting pot and all, but people seem to be from all around the world. And what brings you here? So kind of what you're looking to get out of the group. And also if you've got a personal website or a portfolio type site, then do share that link as well. That's all very useful to us.
Perfect.
Shall we? Oh, bought Elementor a week back. That's a.
Yep. I know. I love a newbie like that because we got such good questions. The creativity starts coming through, doesn't it? You've got it now. You've realized the world of freedom it provides, and you're like, can I make a spaceship?
Will it make my tea in the morning?
Yeah, exactly. Can it make my tea? There's probably a new feature they're going to add by next month.
And Bromley Theatre Guild. Oof, that's a bit of a struggle. I imagine at least.
West London massive. Yep. Hello, Harry.
Oh really? Oh, I'm from West London. So Harry, where in West London? I mean, not your address, you know, but roughly. Buckinghamshire.
Kilburn. Oh, you're around the corner,
Kilburn.
Harry.
No, mate. Yeah. No, mate. No, Northwest.
That's Northwest, Harry. We're Northwest massive.
I used to live there, though. Great place. Great place.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've got Tarek. Tarek is a business owner who is in the group to hear technicalities of entrepreneur Elementor. As most of the site's businesses are built with it. Yeah, well, they're built with it for a very good reason. I mean, I must say, even the way I came to it was I teach entrepreneurs web development so they can build for themselves. And I'd been shopping around like pretty much every 6 months, changing Builder, Simplero, whatever, all of them, everything except Wix. Didn't need to try Wix to know I didn't need to use Wix. But yeah, landed on Elementor, never left. So there is a reason for it. It's just so good for helping you get things moving that you can spend more time thinking about the business plan, the business model, etc. because actually getting the site created is great. So you'll love Elementor once you start using it. Cheryl, London, in the process of building a personal website. That's the kind of stuff we love, isn't it? Not published yet. Is that going to be a portfolio website, Cheryl, or you mean a personal website for yourself? So Angel is from Madrid, learning from other Elementor communities. Okay, and the Spanish Elementor newsletter project. Really? Okay, interesting. And then share the link there as well. So I'll get that ready for later.
Oh, Michael, welcome back, Michael. You've been to one of our live meetings, I think, in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
I remember the Wars of the Roses.
So Devers is in Wiltshire. Hadn't heard of it. Always glad to hear about a new place in the UK. Always glad. Hadn't heard of Devers.
What? No, Brentford. What a fantastic place that is. Up and coming.
Yeah,
I can say that because, well, I live there. So, hello, Shiv.
Surrey, we've got Surrey. Interested to hear what people are using. Southampton tech support guy, branching into web design over the last year. Need to improve my dynamic content, but can hopefully help with people's issues too. Great, love that. It's even better. Like, it's so good when people come from somewhere else and they want to add that to what they're doing with the, I guess, Elementor space, which is nice. Welland Garden City, Mike. I was gonna say you've got a neighbor, but it was you. That's Mike. Loves his Welland. All right, so Broadcast Centre, Shepherd's Bush. Oh, hey, Rob. Great to be here. Bedfordshire, been a mentor for 3 years. Chloe. Oh, hello, Chloe. Tarek, operating partner of mavenswood.com, though this site is built on Divi. But many of our portfolio sites are built using Elementor. Okay, that yeah, it's like, but don't worry. If you're happy with Divi, we are happy for you. We are happy for you.
We're agnostic here. Well, not really. We like Elementor, but we're not. There's no theological wars.
Yeah, it's not the Church of Elementor. Francesca, Hampshire at the moment, 2020 earthemergency.com. That sounds really, really interesting. I'm gonna have a look at that. South London, need to build a new website for a new business ASAP. Complete beginner. Tony Tone. That's funny. I always do that. Tony Tone. You know good music, don't you, Tony? Okay, interesting. Nice. You will be able to build a website ASAP. Just focus on, I guess we're going to share a lot of tips today. So you'll learn about a few little bits in terms of updates because we have so many regulars. So we're probably going to do more updates, a couple of little tutorials. We've got the multi-step form. We've got Lottie animations, little tutorials in there. So you're able to learn a bit about that. But you're always welcome to obviously ask us for any support that you need as well. Yep. Rob's here for anything you can learn. Puzzled with dynamic content and conditions and archive pages, that's fine. Barry's out in San Francisco. What is the weather like in San Francisco, Barry?
Silicon Valley, no way.
What? Northwest London, Queen's Park. Okay, so we have me and Wilson Green. We've got someone else in Kilburn, and now we've got Queen's Park. Okay, going well.
Okay, cool.
Going well. Henley on Thames. End user looking to improve skills to support the business I work in, but happy to leave the really technical stuff to the developers. Yeah, and that's the good thing of Elementor. The truth is you really can do that. Like for example, in my company, I have a team of developers that work with me to do really technical things, but I build and we build out the sites with Elementor, and rarely do we need developers to do anything unless we're doing something kind of tricky. Cheryl, okay, that's a lifestyle blog Cheryl's building. Then we've got Greenwich, London on the simple version for about 12 months and pro for 6 months. Only built a website for my own company, emergency planning group. Love that. Eno, Essex. Here's a work in progress project. Love that. I'm going to gather all these links whilst Jim's doing the rest, by the way. I just want to make sure we get the introductions out of the way. So Shiv, zooming in from West London again. Oh, that was the Brentford, right? Came to see more on what's going on with Elementor. Don't have a portfolio site yet. Don't need one. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Elementor Experts, so you won't even need a portfolio site. But you're building one, that's great. It can be complementary in terms of what I'm going to tell you can be complementary to your site as well. Trying to use Elementor to launch a travel website as well as a clothing site. Interesting. Tarek, my personal website is built using a combination of Divi, Extra, Elementor as well. It's a horrible thing to do. 2 builders on one site. But the reasons are funny. Yeah, it sounds funny. We keep it for later. Lovely. Personal site is right there. Yeah, Silicon Valley, learning as much as you can about Elementor. Lovely. Great site. I'll check that out as well. Essex built 2 sites. One for our robot mower. Yes, I remember the robot mower from my birthday.
I do. Who could forget that?
Yeah. I might actually need one because I didn't realize how much time I'd be spending in the garden when I made the joke about wanting to ride around on one of those, but I think I might need one. And the other for Norfolk Holiday College. So holidaybreaks.co.uk. Nice. Norfolk Holiday Breaks. Right. Hello from Portland, Oregon, USA. Been using Elementor since shortly after they shipped 4 years ago. Working with Talia Elementor to hopefully have an Elementor specific meetup. Let us know if you need a hand. To be honest with you, it's a shame I didn't bring the link in today. But on the birthday, we were sharing the link for anyone that wanted to start a group. So again, pop me a message and I will share that with you. Or if you want a hand on knowing what to do, obviously I've been leading Elementor London with Mike. So happy to share. So you can start a new community there. That'd be amazing. Maybe you send us an invite as well. We can pop over.
Hello, Ben. We exchanged messages this week. Nice to see you here.
Hi, Ben. And we've got, what have we got else? So Astrid is zooming from South Africa. West Africa. This whole West London thing's got me confused. What Elementor Pro week back, only built 1 website. You've built one website already. Trying to find a good theme for a travel website that works well. Weather's fantastic today. I'm not surprised. A really good place for, Elementor works with pretty much any theme as they advertise. So I'm not sure if you've heard of Envato. and Envato's theme forest, very, very, very good spot to go to look for. I would actually say to look for ideas, because you'd be surprised with Elementor how quickly you can build out a much better version of a layout that you're enjoying in a theme. Sometimes you're enjoying a theme just for the layouts, but there's quite a lot. And also don't forget on the Elementor website, especially if you've got a pro account, I think, or any of the paid accounts, they do have the blog, right, with the templated sites that they build, and they're always building new ones. They did the education one last month, so you may not even need to purchase one, but Envato Theme Forest is great, and it's also a great starting point.
And have you heard that new Cadence theme is very new, and they call it the best theme for the Elementor?
How do you spell that? CAD? Can you type it into the chat? Paste the link in the chat, please, for everyone.
Just seconds. It's very new. Cadence, yes, it's written like that. They call it the best theme for the Elementor and maybe for the DV as well. I don't know about that. But
I'm a fan of Hello. I think Hello's the best. Nice and empty.
They said it's very much friendly, doing everything. I'm gonna build one site with that because I watched the YouTube tutorial. That's very much good. Very easy for everything.
Perfect. All right, there's so much in here. If you guys don't mind just popping the chat. Actually, no, we're not that far. I've actually got quite far. All right, hold on. Let me not doubt myself. So we've got Portland, zooming in for South Africa, trying to find a good travel website. Right, Ben is in Tunbridge and Kent, running a white label web agency, working exclusively for Elementor. Got that there, Ben Tiffin. Also working to find a way to add dynamic Google AdWords to the website. Interesting. Already on Elementor expert site, good. All of you, if you've got Pro, I'm going to say a little bit more later, but you can all join the Elementor expert site. And I'm going to explain a bit about the benefits for you. I recently joined this week, so I'm not pitching you something I haven't done myself. So, right, John's put up a couple of links as well. Here to learn. Okay. Oh, yeah, CapCut templates. Interesting. Thank you, Catherine. Cadence. Cadence is very good. Nick Obi agrees about that. Cadence. All right. Hello theme. Exactly. Page builder framework. Yeah, for WooCommerce, Cadence looks good. Another good library is Style Kits. Yes, it is actually a good library. Ocean WP and Astra, but Cadence is very good. Okay. Thank you for that. We did that quite well. We did that on time, I think.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I was distracted by a phone going there. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry. All right, so you keep popping that in there, guys, and I'll revisit the chat area in a moment. Right, so thank you so much for that. Do you want to move on now, Jim?
I will. Thank you. Okay, so what we got next? So Elementor updates. Let me see if I'm not bamboozled by the technology here. So two key things came out in the most recent Elementor release. One was multi-step forms. I think you can probably tell what it does by the title. It does what it says on the tin. So let's see if I click this, what happens. Hopefully you can see a little video running. Yes? You can see that? Please, panelists, tell me you can see a little video running. You can, you're nodding. So, okay, so what this obviously does is, I'll just run it again. You've got a fancy form like this. Instead of having one big long form, you can cut it into small sections and get people just to step their way through it. It's much more likely that people are going to complete the form if you do that for them, rather than they're just presented with 20 fields in 4 columns and that kind of stuff. So this is a very welcome addition, and it's the kind of thing that people used to, I guess, get plugins for, but now they don't need to. And if you want to find out more about that, there's a link here. If you fill in the survey, by the way, or if you even registered for this event, we've captured your email address and we'll send out I don't know, are we going to send out a recording of this event?
Yes, of course. So yeah, so
and the slides,
yeah, we're recording the Zoom and I'm going to start uploading. We actually already have an upload of our birthday last time on my site, but it's just because we're waiting to get the page set up on our Web Creators Toolbox site, but we'll have that up there soon, and definitely it'll be on YouTube. Okay,
cool. So you can click on that link when you get the slides from here, and that'll tell you, it's just basically go straight to the Elementor site and you can find out the nitty-gritty about how multi-step works. But that's a fantastic addition. Again, it's more stuff that Elementor can do that you don't need, say, Ninja Forms or something like that for, which people that I know obviously are a fan of. It probably does more stuff, but anyway, there you go. Oh, might be a comfort break coming up, I think. How far are we? Let me just check the timings here.
So we've just had our first half hour.
Okay.
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah, but we don't want you guys getting Zoom fatigue. It's all very different staring at a screen for a while.
Yeah.
So we're literally going to give a 5-minute break. It's 7:10 now. And that's just to give you a little opportunity to maybe pick up a drink, a good mature drink, not alcohol. Don't get drunk here. I'm having a party.
Yeah.
If you do, just don't show it in the chat. And so we'll be back in about 5 minutes, maybe a little bathroom break, right? So we'll see you all very soon. But when we get back, we'll be doing the Lottie animation stuff. We'll also be doing the feedback and support, and we've been doing show and tell, and Mike's obviously going to show and tell as well. Okay. Multi-step forms is missing a save as you go feature. Oh, interesting. Thank you for that, Keith. Okay. So you guys can keep popping things in the chat area. We are going to issue this as a comfort break. So for everyone that wants to take a comfort break, please feel free to do that. I will be happy to stay here and continue talking to everyone else that's fine and doesn't need a comfort break. So please don't feel as though you need to stick around. Your break has started now and it will end at 9:15. Okay?
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
See ya. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, well, I'll stay here. Don't worry, Jim, you can go. Stephen, yes, we are recording it, so I will be uploading this to YouTube. And then I'll be doing a little event recap piece on the site, so that'll be fine. No worries, you're very welcome. Not sure if you all know, but we also did already upload the birthday. Let me pop the birthday kind of link for you that I've got. And you can maybe, if you want to have a watch of that later, if you missed it. It's very, very good. We had Tally and Ben join us. So that was very nice. Let me see where that is. Okay. First birthday Elementor. If you're typing in, don't worry, I'm just copying this link. I'll be back to see the chat in a moment once I get back onto Zoom. Here I am. Yes. Here is a link to our first birthday. There you go. Right. Anyone else have anything they want to pop in here? I am still here, don't worry.
Tanisha, you're on mute if you were trying to talk.
When did that happen?
I'm not sure. How long have you been talking for?
I don't know. Right, so
Well,
started.
hopefully it'll be under the recording.
Right, so no, it must have been recently because Stephen replied to me. So the birthday event recap is there. It was a good meeting. Thank you very much, Stephen. So force downloading a PDF. If you mean a PDF of the full screen of the website, then what you can do is you can use full page screen capture. It's a Chrome extension. That's what I use. And it just does a good grab of everything. And it gives you the option to download the full image of the full screen as a PDF or as a PNG, and obviously does not include the URL. And that's if that's what you're describing, just confirm. Came to the first meetup, we maxed out the little coffee house before we even started. Found us a space at nearby eat. Sadly, haven't been able to come up. Oh, we really moved. We moved to so many different places. I think after that, Mike moved into Hammersmith building. And then after Hammersmith, he came to Paddington. And we've been at Paddington for quite a while as well. So we've been missing out some great venues. But don't worry, we have even better venues in the peripheral. AJ, using some supply templates, it seems to be very hard to remove margins and paddings as they do. Oh, am I still here?
You're back.
You are. So we're back. So shall we move on to Tanisha?
Are we done with the break? Yeah, we're just about a minute over.
Time-wise, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, just give people a little time to come back. Let me just see what's going on here.
Sure.
AJ, we'll deal with that in Q&A.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Not quite sure what's going on there.
Thank you, Catherine, Stephen. Thank you for Q&A. What page? Sorry, I haven't been. Oh, don't worry, AJ. I'm sure Mike forgives you. All right. Oh, there you go. Catherine's also sent one through. Right. Do you want to jump into Lottie, Jim?
Lottie, yes. So here's Lottie. I had no idea what this was until, or even the existence of these things until the Elementor update arrived. I'm sure all of you have seen these and you'll recognize them when you see them. But now they're now in Elementor. So what's all this about? Here we go. Hopefully, again, you'll be able to see a short video, ruthlessly copied from the Elementor site. So Lottie animations, exactly this sort of thing. Very simple, usually vector drawn, I think probably only vector drawn animations that you can include on your site. And I've seen some pretty exotic uses of this, and I've seen some quite modest uses of it. But this is now being added, just show you those one more time. This is now being added to Elementor. You can even see in this video a little sneak preview of how you might use it, like that. Hopefully, I was joking with Tanisha earlier on today. It won't be like the kind of 1992 Flash. I've got a flashing neon banner at the top of my website, and I'm not afraid to use it. Type of approach to design. But there we go. Judiciously or artistically used, I'm sure they'd be fantastic. So if you're thinking, oh, I need to go back one. I think I can go back one. Oh, no. Oh, I've lost control. Oh, how do I go back? Oh, I know. I just press
left, right arrows.
There we go. Okay, so if you look at those Lottie animations, you think, my God, I've been training as a web designer, an Elementor expert, and now I have to be an animator. Don't worry, just go to lottiefiles.com, choose what you like, download it, and put it on your site if you want to use one. It's pretty straightforward, he said, as someone who's not used one yet. But I think, Tanisha, you were saying you have every ambition to one of your team to.
Yeah. So what we've been thinking about is there's so many really cool, interesting little things that Elementor does quite regularly. So we're going to try and start implementing them in our Web Creators Toolbox site. So you guys can also have a chance to have a look at some use cases and examples, which are going to be standard parts. So we're not going to make it like an example page. You can get that from Elementor, but perhaps we'll add one or two Lottie animations onto the homepage so you can have a look. But in reality, once you get over to the website, basically it's as simple as picking an animation style that you like. And then in the Elementor area for Lottie, perfect. So in the Elementor widget for Lottie, there's two options. Either one, upload the JSON, or two, paste the URL for the animation. So you don't even need to reskill, has been mentioned. Instead, you can just paste that in there or upload the JSON file. No need to design your own, no need to do anything. And I learned today that actually Lottie animations were created by Airbnb. I know.
True. Yes, yes.
Who knew?
Wow.
Yeah. Did anyone else know that already? Am I the last
Yeah,
one?
no, I did come across that in my looking at what the hell is Lottie Animations.
Yeah.
So we've got another reason to be grateful to Airbnb.
Another reason to be grateful to Airbnb. So they created it mainly for their sites, and then they decided to make it open source, which means they're free. They're free. So
What's not to like?
What is not to like? Just don't go flash crazy on it. Okay, we don't want to,
Maybe
lose our minds.
maybe it has effect for the speed as well because so much animation.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing. I saw a speed comparison with Lottie Animations plus other ways of doing this, like repeating PNGs and things, and Lottie beat them all by a mile. I mean, it portrayed itself, at least in what I saw, as being super efficient way. If you're going to do animations, didn't seem to be a better way of doing it. But I mean, it's got to have some impact, I guess. It's actually, it won't be free, but it did look to be the most efficient way of doing it.
Yeah. Has anyone here tried Lottie Animations? I know we've got some seasoned people here. Have any of you had a chance to try it? It's only been available so at the birthday, they were announcing that it was going to come out. And yes, Keith, you're right. It is now available in Pro, included in Pro. But has anyone had a chance to try it? Just give me 1 for yes and 2 for no.
Yes, just a test.
Yes, test. Okay,
Ooh,
great.
1s, 2s. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. And does anyone have a link to a page they've got it on that we can have a look at?
Ooh.
I know. I'm always putting people under pressure.
Give us a page. Give us a page. Someone, anyone.
Does anyone want to show a site? All right, perfect. No one's had a chance, but I'm not surprised. It's just so many, because it's really, really new. Oh, we do have one.
Here we go. Shall I try and bring that up?
Yeah, please look at Enos.
Here we
can
go.
you take us through the process?
Again, let's see if this works.
So we can have an idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So Astrid wants us to take her through the process to download the plugin. I don't think you need to download the plugin in that way. I think it should still work. Are you on Pro? Because it's in Pro already. Oh, you are a Pro user, yeah. It's included in Pro already, so it should be in the list of widgets. So usually when you look in the cabinet of widgets,
Very nice.
Should be right there. Hold on, let me get who was mentioning it for, because I don't want to leave this space. Keith, do you want to just let us know exactly where it is? Because I'm sure that's where it is, but Astrid isn't seeing it. I know Keith knows exactly where it is. Oh, you found it. Good stuff. Perfect. Angel's got a testing page as well. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Air conditioning services. So that's where we go. Lovely.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah. Well,
that looks very nice.
Yeah.
It does look good.
That's exactly the kind of use case is good, isn't it? When it's nice and simple.
It is quite simple, just kind of a bit of visual, what they call in the States, eye candy.
Yeah.
And nothing overwhelming or confusing. It's good. Okay, cool.
I think we have another one here.
Do we have another one?
We have another one. We have another one. Have a look. Have a look at the link that Angel just pasted in there.
Yeah.
He's got a page where he's been testing them.
Coming up. Here we go. Aha.
So halfway down, a little bit more down, one more.
Sure. Oh, okay. Oh, that is terrific.
No, go back up one.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's another one. It says Lottie down there. This is just a testing, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah. I like that.
That is cool. Yeah. See, it's mostly vector stuff. Simply done. It's cool.
All right. So Francesca's saying, can Lottie be added to the sidebar? Is there a way to style sidebar and widgets in Elementor Pro? Yes, there is a way. Initially, obviously, because if you're using a theme like Hello, because you have such a blank canvas, you can actually set up your site to have that sidebar anyway. You can mess around with that sidebar in so many ways. If you're using Pro, you can also use the pop-ups feature. I've seen quite a few people do really interesting pop-out sidebars So it's a sidebar, but it can pop in and pop out using the pop-ups. So you can definitely do that. But of course, you can also, depending on the theme that you're using, you can do things through the standard Elementor widget area. I'm not sure if Lottie is in the WordPress, sorry, not Elementor, WordPress widget area. Not sure if Lottie is one of the WordPress options, but yeah, Astra Pro, yeah. So I'm not sure if, Mike, you would know. Have you ever used Lottie yet though, have you?
No, I haven't used Lottie yet.
Yeah.
But it, again, is Jim and yourself have said, used in the right way, I'm sure it can be highly effective to kind of make the site more engaging, but overused, and it will be, yeah, not as appealing.
No, people will definitely be engaged, it's just not on one thing.
Very polite way of putting it. Okay, cool. All right, so shall we, let's get back to the slides. I think, is that okay, Tanisha?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
and
cool.
there's no more questions here.
It doesn't look to be. Okay, so oh, now what am I in? I need to be in presentation mode, do I?
Yeah, top right, next to the yellow one.
I've got to move you guys out of the way.
Oh, you
get out
can't
of the way,
see it.
you guys. You're just in the way. Okay, cool. Okay, so and when we distribute the slides, click on that, takes you straight to Elementor. It'll show you all about it, all the nitty gritty. So I won't do that now, but that's there for you if you want to have a look. I'll just go straight to the Elementor site. And I think finally in this section, Tanisha is going to talk to us about the beta that is Elementor Experts.
Experts, exactly. Just before I do that, I will just quickly answer Francesca's question because she already asked it and it's come back again. So she hasn't left hanging. So Francesca, what you can do is that in Elementor, you can build out your own sidebar, okay? So you don't have to use the WordPress given sidebars. What you can do is that you can create a 2-column environment, shift to the left or shift to the right, so you've got your sidebar on whichever side. And then the bigger side, you can use the inside, what are they called? You know, when you've got the inside elements?
Intersections.
Intersections. You can use the intersections to fill out the main area that you want to keep main. And even probably do some of the things on the other side. So you don't have to use the WordPress sidebar. I've seen quite a lot of people that just want a sidebar on a certain section or a certain page, literally just do it like that, get that block, split it into left to right, or like I said, use pop-ups. So it depends on the type of sidebar that you'd like to create, what you want it to be able to do. So I'd say have a watch of a few tutorials, or show me an example. Maybe let me an example in chat, in meet up or in the WhatsApp group if you're there. Just drop me a thing, and yeah, we can advise on that later. Right, so Elementor Experts, amazing. Now, it hasn't been amazing for me, myself, in terms of work, because I only joined onto the expert panel literally a couple of days ago. But I have already been personally recruiting a lot of really, really, really strong, really good designers from the Elementor Experts environment. They're really good over there. So with that in mind, I just wanted to be able to tell you guys and remind you that you can register on the Elementor Expert space. There are lots of people looking for people to do web projects with them, to help them with web projects. And Elementor, being currently the #1 web builder for WordPress, presents a huge opportunity for those of you who are you know, trying to get more jobs in, trying to get more gigs in. And it's a really, really nice environment. Jim, do you want to go over to the page, or do you want to go over to the page? Because I don't have sharing permission.
Yeah, I guess we could. Hold on just a tick.
Yeah, see, Catherine's got 3 clients so far. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to really recommend to you to get yourselves on there if you're looking for more projects to work on. It is in beta at the moment, but what was happening before is they were leaving it to be exclusively for the expert level account, expert level profile. But because of the lockdown and everything, they kind of sped up the release, so it is in beta mode, and they've allowed it up to from pro. So basically, as long as you've got pro, you can join it. But don't worry, like, the people who join it are very good, the ones I found anyway, and it does push you to put examples of your work. So for those of you who don't have a portfolio site yet, but want to appear professional and be connected to the Elementor brand, I think Elementor Experts, your Elementor Expert profile, will be a great thing that you can just pick up and share with people. So of course I can design that for you. I'm actually on Elementor Experts, have this link, have a look at my portfolio. So it's really got a lot going for it. Jim, could you please play us that video? Yeah.
Which one is that? Is it
Right
behind
there,
there?
right next to it, the play button. Perfect, thank you.
I'm Ben.
Oh,
I'm an
Ben.
Elementor expert.
You can pop the volume up.
Is marketing, but sometimes I need another expertise to complete my project. Whether you're a designer, developer, or marketer like me, where do you go to find the right person for the job? Introducing the Elementor Experts Network, your go-to place to find, hire, and collaborate with fellow Elementor professionals. Given the impact the coronavirus had on our community of web creators, we did everything in our power to launch this network now, ahead of schedule, in an effort to help you showcase your talent and get hired. We decided that for the duration of this crisis, we will make the network available to all Elementor Pro users, free of charge. So how does it work? First, search for the Elementor experts you need. Could be a designer for your landing page, a developer for your special form, a copywriter for your homepage, or a marketing expert like me. You can filter by expertise, skills, price range, and more. Each web creator gets a score based on marketing, design, and development skills, adding up to 100% of their overall ability. This score is automatically calculated according to our unique algorithm designed to help you find the right expert. Once you find your expert, browse through their portfolio and easily connect with them. Want others to find and hire you? Simply set up your profile and upload your finest project to your portfolio. Make sure to assign the relevant skills to each project you showcase. This will ensure your profile pops up when others look for a skill set or expertise similar to yours. Whether it's for a possible collaboration or for a hire, a big project or a small tweak to the site, the Experts Network is the place to find the right Elementor professional for the job. Oh, I just got an incoming request. I bet it's due to my amazing marketing consultation. No, you just want me to build that now. Join the Experts Network and start connecting with experts just like you.
So yeah, I laughed there. The acting skills was amazing. He's like, oh, I just.
He's a natural.
Oscar, well-deserved Oscar there. I'm gonna have to design him one with Lottie Animations. All right, so that's the Elementor experts thing. And look, Catherine has already said that she's gotten 3 clients so far. So nothing to be missed there. Yes, the animation in that video was kind of interesting. I've been thinking that myself actually.
Yeah.
Interesting things they're doing over Elementor.
Yeah, we got some talented people there.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Okay, all right, so troubleshooting time. Right, let's see who we got first on the Archie is Keith. So Keith, I think we
upgrade
need to...
Keith. Where is he?
Yeah, can you do that, Tanisha?
No, you're the host.
I'm the really okay.
You're the all-powerful Jim.
Yes, yeah, it's going to go to my head in the end. Right, let's have a see if I can just Keith. There we go. So I'm going to pop you on the panel. Here we go. Boom. And you don't have to video. I think audio is just fine.
Yeah.
So
hoping... we've got two slide-based show and tell issues, but obviously we've got other questions in here that you guys have got. We'll go through that later. We'll just do these ones with the slides first, and then we'll move on.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do first, Keith, if it's okay, is love that virtual background, by the way. I'm just going to run through a little video that gives people a sneak preview of what your problem is. And then I'll be straight over to you, Keith, and take you through the 2 slides I think you've already seen that I sent you earlier today. And you can take us through what you think the problem is. But I'll just give people a sneak preview first, if this works, as to what this problem is. So on this site here, when you say shop products, you're going down to this face care thing, and then you're going to a color thing. And while you do this, you can see the little breadcrumbs just under the menu at the top building up. But the problem is when you get to the final product, as you can see by my cursor, the breadcrumbs don't seem to reflect the trail that the visitor has taken to get there. So I hope I've got that right. Keith, over to you.
Yeah, so that's basically the problem, that when you actually get to the product, the product breadcrumb that it shows is not even the what's it called? The primary group that the product is in. So that causes quite a problem on a site such as the one you're looking at, because you don't know where the product actually sits from looking at the breadcrumbs. Now, I raised this as an issue with Elementor. They said it's nothing to do with them. I tried turning off Yoast because I thought that Yoast was actually influencing the breadcrumb trail, but the breadcrumb trail was exactly the same with or without Yoast being switched on. And I can't at the moment work out what's causing it. Now it could be Yoast, but I'm not using the premium product. I'm just using the free one. So I can't ask Yoast for their support services on that. But it doesn't seem to point to Yoast. It seems to point to something else to do with WooCommerce and an interaction, probably a plugin, but I don't know if anyone else has got any.
Well, it's open to the floor, so let's see if Tanisha
Can
can see
I
anybody in the
ask-
chat.
Yes.
Well, Mike?
What primary category is that product in? Because when you go to the product, it may be showing up whatever the primary category is, and if you've got the product in two categories,
That's what the problem is. The fact is that it's not showing the primary.
okay.
It's in lots of categories, isn't it?
It's actually in lots of categories as well.
So that's what Mike is saying. If you have it in more than one category, the first one, the primary one, the will be the one that it probably shows first.
But
So
it's
what you want
not.
to do is make sure that you said it's in lots of categories.
You know, the logical thing is that it should be showing up the primary category that it sits in, but it is not.
So Keith, can it just, should it be showing this or should it be showing that?
Sorry, I can't see what you're looking at.
The screen.
Oh,
Can you see the screen?
the share screen, yeah. Are you looking on a small, what are you using to do the Zoom? Are you using a desktop?
I'm using a desktop, but
Can
Okay.
you not see the
I've
slides?
got here that the host disabled the screen sharing.
Can you see the screen that is being shared?
The only screen that I can see is the
Panelists?
the panelists.
Can you shrink those into the gallery view, the panelists, so you can see more of the screen? And then you should be able to see the screen share.
Let's see what happens.
Catherine and Chloe, I've seen your responses, by the way. Just
It's okay.
I'll pop that in now.
Hang on a minute. I can see it now. It's hidden underneath.
Cool, cool, cool. So I think this is what it's, as soon as the product, so I think this is the path that you're taking to get to the product: home, face care, then color. And then when you select on the product, finally get to the product, it doesn't show that path. What it shows is this.
Makeup face.
Is that right? So
Yes.
what you,
So
I'm
that's
guessing
wrong.
what you want is this, but what you're
Yes.
getting is that.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, cool.
So which one do you want? This makeup face translucent bronzing tint?
But what we want is to see the path that we followed.
This one.
And the path that we followed in the example was actually to the primary position, but it doesn't show in the breadcrumbs.
Okay,
If I run the video again, just one more time, if I may, sorry, it'll be definitive. So if you watch this, you can see as shop products, and then you go down to the face care. Look at the breadcrumbs. It goes, okay, face care, got it. You select the color, breadcrumbs say color, great. Select the product, bang, it changes completely, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Suggestions, please, on a postcard.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna read. We've got some suggestions here. Greg has suggested WP SEO underscore breadcrumb. I think, is that a plugin, Greg, or is that shortcode? And then Chloe has said, what happens when you change to use Yoast powered breadcrumbs instead?
That's
yeah, shortcode. Yeah, exactly. So you might want to add this shortcode that Greg has popped
we're
in there.
using Yoast powered breadcrumbs.
No, the shortcode that Greg has popped in there. That's not Yoast. There's
Oh,
a
I
shortcode
see.
in the chat. You have a look in the chat. And then also in terms of the category, how many categories is the product in?
Quite a lot. I don't know.
Have you tried having the products in just one category?
Well, that would obviously work in just one.
Well, what would happen is if you put it in one first and then you add back the other categories after it, the one that you want first will be the primary category and it should stay showing if it shows one. But if it still doesn't do that when you just have the one, then you could probably say there's a bug.
So you're suggesting that we do this to all the products on the website?
Well, no, I mean, you don't have to do it to all. You can just test it with one. And once you know for a fact that it does work when there's just one, then you know it's a hierarchy issue. Because if it's a hierarchy issue, that's easily fixed, isn't it? Just change the main category to the highest hierarchy. Then it won't matter which way people go to that product. They'll always have the correct breadcrumb because the correct category will be in place. Catherine's also saying you might want to have a think about if there's a plugin that skips your category name, but that's not being skipped because you're getting a category. It's not the one you want.
Correct.
Exactly. So possibly try the SEO that Greg's popped in there. Exactly. And then try the stuff with the categories. Pop it just one to make sure that works with just the one. And then if it works with just the one, you know it's a hierarchy thing, in which case, yes, you will need to do that with all of the products, because either way, we should always be making sure our categories are placed in there with hierarchy. Andrew says, as I found out, WooCommerce doesn't show the shortest way as a breadcrumb. It shows the newest category which the product is in. As newest, I mean the product category that was created latest. Aha, so there you go. So I created new primary category, assigned the products to that with importing, and deleted the original primary category. Then I renamed the new primary category to original primary category. And now the newest path is displaying as the breadcrumb on the product page. So I'm not sure if that's a test that's just been done for you, but that's that.
Okay, that's
from Stack Overflow. Yeah.
Yes.
Super helpful. So lots of really helpful tips here. Does anyone else have any other ideas around that?
Thank you for that, Andrew.
Yeah, very good. Well, I'd go with all of those. I'd also copy down Greg's shortcode just in case that works as well. Just have I'd have a try of all of them. Just make another product and test it out. Yeah, good point. Nick said I'd question the need for breadcrumbs anyway. Maybe use filters.
Don't know our customer.
Stephen wants to know if we have earned a discount on face creams.
Yes, we have tried to encourage our customer not to use breadcrumbs, but the customer wants breadcrumbs.
Okay. And on Stephen's discount on face creams? Joke. Right. So Stephen, I think that was not now, my friend. Asking for a friend, he says. Yeah, he's got a friend, he's got a face. So he's asking for a friend with a face. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Keith, for going through that with us. Thank you so much for the back and forth feedback. A lot of times these kind of things can also be, issues related to sitemap as well. So I'm not sure if you've got your sitemap sorted out there and things like that. But yeah, I hope that you get to resolve that soon. And if you don't, feel free to definitely drop us a message if you need a hand with that, because there are power hours available where we can get the people who know, people to spend an hour with you just fixing that problem straight away on the spot. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Keith. All right. So what do we have next? Jim, you're mute, by the way.
Jim, you're muted.
Well, yes, I know. That's fine. We had the dog barking. Nobody wants to hear that on a Zoom again for the 5th time today, do they? So let me try and promote Mr. Rob Cox. Hopefully you're there. And Keith, thank you very much for doing that. We're going to...
Should we swap? Hey, Rob,
Yeah.
we're going to promote you up. Can you speak? We're going to promote you to panelist. So if you just swap Keith with Rob.
Hang on. Okay, so hang on. I nearly removed Keith from the entire meeting, which is not what I'm. Oh, change role to attendee. Got it. Bye, Keith. So thank you very much for that, Keith. Don't take it personally. Right.
Okay, Rob said he should be okay, so you can promote him up.
Okay, I'll bring him up. Hold on just a tick. Again, Rob, video if you like, but if you audio is just fine. So let's have a look. Promote to panelist, and here is shortly Mr. Rob Cox. Well, got the right name. Hopefully appearing very shortly to a Zoom near you. Are you there, Rob?
Right. Whilst Rob's logging in, everyone, if you pasted a question in the chat has gotten really extended. Do you mind just popping that question, finding what your question was, copying it, and popping it into the Q&A? It'll be easier for me because I'm just going to start collecting those up now, so we can do that after this.
Rob, you're on mute, so you need to unmute yourself.
Rob, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm just typing that into his chat. Hold on. Yeah, I've just tipped Rob off that he's on mute.
Yep,
on
he's sorted that now.
Chat. Oh, it looks like it's good.
Oh, no, he's back on. Yep.
But we're having difficulty with the satellite link. We'll be right back. Maybe I should just plow on and hope Rob appears.
Is Rob there?
Well, it certainly come up. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's not replied to me. Yeah, maybe he didn't get the end of the break, the comfort break. I'm not sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on and see if we can, in Rob's absence, see if I can explain it for him. So, right. So Rob had a few issues, but this was one of his main ones, and maybe one of the ones that's a little easier to surface a solution for in a Zoom. So here's Rob's site, and this is a screen capture actually from an iPad. And you can see red boundary around the top. That's not Rob's design skills. That's just me highlighting that menu. So it all looks kind of okay. We've got a header, we've got a menu, and we've got some content. But when Rob, or I guess a visitor, clicks on one of the things like articles, what he gets is it suddenly turns into kind of a burger menu, and he gets an alternative menu coming up when he moves from the front page to one of his menu items. So why does that happen? So I had a look. Rob very kindly allowed me to have a look behind the scenes. And looking behind the scenes with the Tune Electric Guitar Education site, you can see that he's got a couple of templates in there which are headers. And if you look, he's got one that's new responsive. Obviously, he's not finished that yet. It's in draft form only, not being published. The only header he's got on the site is called the posts header, and that has its display settings to display on all single pages. But if you look a little closer on that, you can see that it's not quite as it appears. When you look at the display settings for that header, it's included on all the single pages, but it's excluded on the front page, which I guess is why you get that different treatment of the front page. You get the full header, if you remember, on the front page, and then when you click into an item like a single page, I guess you're getting that kind of burger menu, kind of mobile tablet style menu. And keep looking to my left, hoping that oh, sorry, can't get his mic to work. I'll plow on. Okay, so let's carry on. So if you then go to the header itself, this posts header, which is set to display as I've just shown you, you can actually see that inside that single header, there's actually two headers kind of sitting alongside each other. There's the desktop menu at the top, and there's the tablet or mobile menu underneath it. And then Rob has used the responsive settings on the advanced tab to basically display the bottom menu on tablets and mobiles, and the top menu is set to display on anything other than a tablet or mobile, otherwise known as a desktop. And Rob's reported those two problems. He can't understand why the menu is disappearing, I think, and also why when he seems to go to a particular single page, the content below it seems to kind of, what's the word, shake and rattle a bit. Yeah, and he thinks it's because, he suspects it's because how he's done those headers is he's got kind of two menus kind of cheek by jowl with each other, but displaying under different conditions. I hope I've tried to explain that. I'm sure I haven't done it as well as Rob would have done. I've got a couple of tips on that, but before we get to those tips in general, again, open to the floor or the panel, can anybody guide Rob as to the best way of achieving what he wants to what he wants to achieve on this site? I'm looking down at the posts. Tanisha, maybe you could keep an eye on those.
Yeah, Catherine's saying there may not be room to show the menu with the logo there as well.
Yeah.
And it goes to the hamburger as a default. Good point. What's the breakpoint set to? I think breakpoint is set to tablet size.
Yeah, I'm glad to see
but Rob
that
just wants
that's one of my
one menu for all devices. So, I mean, in my opinion, if we go up to that slide before, slide 40, I think it is. I think what it is that Rob's got two menus with two different environments to show, when really it's just that permission thing, isn't it, where he's got it on all singular pages. You want to go up?
That's it. That's the top
there,
one.
or down to the bit where we can see where he selected a bit more.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have put those bills in. It's always
there. I think this is the issue personally. If you want the one thing to show on all pages, I would delete the exclude and put it there. I would just put it on every page to show it on every page, because then it will show on every page. Because right now you're telling it only to show, to exclude the front page for something, and then to include the singular pages. But there'll be, so you're telling it not to show on every page. I would definitely make that header just show across the whole website. No, yeah, I think I would say that. What does everyone else think? I mean, definitely about the logo, but from this particular point here, I think even if the logo was part of the issue, another part of the issue is just that you're telling it to exclude pages. So if you want it on the whole site, just tell it to show it on the whole site.
I know we were discussing this earlier, Tanisha, and you said, no, people do that. They have two different menus because you basically, you maybe want a menu item that's good for a desktop, but it's not a menu item you want to show on a mobile platform. Personally, I've never done that. I've always had sites that show all the menus all the time, maybe simpler sites.
Exactly.
And as you say, what I've done is I've basically shown them on every page.
Exactly.
But if I want to hide something on a particular platform, and it's the whole thing rather than individual items, you can indeed use the responsive tag on the advanced tab inside the design itself. Unfortunately, it's not easy to show it here, but I don't know if you folks, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but inside this particular header, there will be on the left-hand side panel an advanced tab. If you look down, you'll see exactly what Rob has used to show these the way he wants them to be shown. But I would go for one solution or the other. But what you've done here is a mashup of the two, and I think that might be the root of the problem. Well,
yeah, I mean, it could be, but definitely not showing it across the site is definitely like showing it across the site. The site is definitely a start to seeing what else the problems are. I mean, for example, on a lot of my sites, what I do is in the one Elementor header template, I will create one header that's for desktop, one menu area that's for desktop, another menu that's for tablet, and maybe another one that's for mobile. Okay, because I want different experiences there. They'll all be in the same page per se, but in the responsiveness, I've selected that one can only show on the desktop. I've selected another one to only show on the tablet, and the other one for the phone, which means that I can safely use that one condition to show across the whole site, knowing that actually someone on desktop will only see the desktop version, someone on tablet will only see the tablet version, someone on phone. So Nick is saying, Nick thinks it's also a similar thing. Andrew is also agreeing. It's definitely a good place to start. And luckily, Rob is saying he actually hasn't played around with those conditions. So I think he set them and not realized the impact of those conditions. Yeah. They're very, very useful. You might just want a particular menu on one page, and that's why they have the exclude and include features, in case you wanted to have like a particularly styled sub-menu on one page, for example.
And you can go back, Rob, it's going to be difficult if I can't show you this very easily, but I'm not going to fiddle with it now. But when you're inside that header template inside Elementor, bottom left where you get to update it usually when you've changed it, if you click on that down arrow, you'll see it pop up. That's how you get back to the display conditions. And it's the display conditions that Tanisha is advising you to change. Maybe you set them once and forgot about them, but
Yeah.
that's where you need to go down to. It's bottom left of that left-hand panel inside the post in Elementor. Click on that little arrow, and that's the key back into the display conditions to tell Elementor how to play nicely with WordPress. So the other tip that I've got here is using Elementor header template. So I did this tip obviously before I saw into the background of Rob's site. So I think some people are a bit confused about how Theme Builder works, but that would be maybe a good thing to do in a power hour, or look that term up on Google or WP Tuts or somewhere like that, where they have a good tutorial on that kind of thing. Or of course, Dave Foy. I can't let a meetup go without mentioning the blessed Dave. And the other tip that I've got is, and by the way, you can see where it's displayed here. The other tip, of course, is actually, this is a screenshot showing where Rob has set those individual conditions for the two menus he's got. But there they are. This is the nav menu in the advanced, or actually in the content tab, actually not the advanced tab at all. You can see this mobile breakdown point. So make sure that you set that. So you're telling Elementor when to show the hamburger and when to show the full menu. That's, again, another forgotten setting. If you don't get that right, it's going to struggle to even display the right menu. That's different from the responsive tab on the advanced tab there. It's another thing that you've got to get right to get the menu the way you want it to be. Oh, thank you, Chloe. Another Dave acolyte. Okay, cool. So
yeah, that could be conflicting. Nick has made a good point. That could also be conflicting to looking at, as it's mobile, not tablet. Yeah. So lots of really good tips there.
Okay, cool. Hopefully some of those will be useful, Rob. And sorry you couldn't get your microphone working, but hopefully you find some of that useful, and the recording will be available later, as well as some of the slides. And and Chloe's leaving. And she's left us with a couple of links. So
perfect. Thank you, Chloe.
We'll hand those out later. Okay, cool. So back to the main thing, the main event. Why did I put those animations in? Okay, it's time for a showcase. Les, I've got a hunt for Les now. Let me get this right. So Rob, I'm going to change your role to an attendee, and I'm almost getting good at this. I'm going to hunt you out on the panelists, and to
be honest, Jim, you're doing very well.
Thank you very much, very much. Very kind. Promote to panelist. Here's Les. Hopefully very shortly. Did I do that? Here he is. He's still muted. I'll keep waffling until I see the red. Oh, no, he's unmuted.
Hi.
Hello, Les.
Right. Okay.
Hello, Les. So I'm going to let you let rip, and just ask me to step through the slides as you will.
Okay, probably what I'll do, Jim. Okay, that's the home page, but I'm going to go straight to live, if that's okay.
Okay, it's an all live show. Okay, far away.
So if you want to, now I can share my screen. So
can you do that? Have you got the rights? You should.
I haven't yet. It says disabled.
Is it disabled? All right, Reese, just click on the arrow next to share screen, Jim, and then allow all panelists.
Okay. I'm gonna. I'm sounding like Boris Johnson now. Where do I? What do I click on?
Middle of the screen. Yes. Middle of the screen, bottom, green button, share screen. Next to that will be a little arrow that will only show up if you put your mouse on it. Yes. Click on that. Enable something. A screen will pop up, and what you want to pick is all panelists.
Okay, hold on.
No, lower middle. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I can't see. I just remembered that we can't see what you can see.
No. All right. I can't pause the share. I can see you are screen sharing. I can move it to the top and bottom of the screen, and then I've got a recording button. I don't want to touch that. I've got a small shield.
Okay, don't worry. Do you want to put me up?
I'll make you. Can you take back control, or do I have to give it to you?
I should be able to take back control. Let's have a look at that.
You're the host. Make host.
Oh, don't worry, I've done it myself.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Done.
And
Les,
then.
do you want to try that now?
Okay. It says you cannot share screen while the other participant is sharing,
Jim,
so
you
you need
wanna
to
turn
take
it
yours
off?
off.
Shall I stop my sharing? I'll do that.
Here we go.
Okay, right. So I think we're there. So right, I think it's that one. Share.
That's
Right.
beautiful. I can see that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Right. So, so the background to this this particular site, sort of, I live in Bookham, dare I say, and what's happened is over the years, there's been sort of attempts at websites. So it's been going a few years, and initially there was sort of probably back to the sort of, you know, just pure text type websites and things that people had. It sort of got handed on to me when the guy who'd built it had decided he had enough. So what I did at that stage, I used WordPress, as that was sort of the one that was sort of most popular at that time, sort of a few years ago. What I did, I used a template in the first instance, but then as I got sort of more familiar with WordPress and sort of wanting to build my skills more, I found that actually the template was sort of being more restrictive in what I could do, and I wanted to put more sort of blogging type information onto the website. So I moved from using the template into using Elementor with the Hello theme. So this is what the site is built on now. So this is Elementor with Hello, and this is about 9 months old now. So what the sort of the structure of the site is that it's primarily sort of information here that changes on a regular basis, and then there's static information that's on the right hand side. So at the moment, you know, there'll be a calendar that sits there, but unfortunately at the moment, you know, all our events are cancelled, so there's nothing there. There's a contact form there that goes off to a contact page, and seeing the new feature to allow multiple stepped forms, I'll be changing that, because at the moment it's just a Ninja form that is just sort of one page. So I'll have a look at that when I do this week's updates. There's also join the mailing list as well. So that goes off to MailChimp, and that takes those credentials and adds those individuals straight to our emailing base, which we've got sort of getting up towards 800 people on there. So that's sort of how the sort of people, when they get onto the site, so it's based on sort of, here is sort of like the post section, and these sections, this section has a sort of 30-day time period. So what happens is the posts come on here for sort of, I now do a weekly update, and then they sort of, the post stays there, but then they disappear into another part of the website when their time expired. So there's a mix here of sort of stuff that I've produced about, you know, we've got sort of a big poster campaign going on around our village, where we're saying thank you to all our local traders and key workers who've been busy working during the lockdown period. There's a lot of information coming from our local council as well. So it's these, I think if you you can actually change on the post how many characters it shows. I think I've got it something like 30, which I've found is sort of balanced between the sort of content that makes it think that people want to go forward, or if it's something else they want to read. This here is what's called the featured image, which I think you may be familiar with. So primarily that's when you're setting up the post, you add the featured image, and then that will appear. And let's have a look at a page. So this comes up, and you've got the sort of the content here. So this is, okay, it's from our sort of Candida Goulden, who's the Economic Development Manager. We're getting a lot of business stuff that's coming through for us at the moment. So it's giving guidance on what people ought to be doing. So people can see this stuff obviously on the council website, but what we've found is that there's a lot comes our way. They say, can you circulate this anyway, because you have a sort of a broader reach necessary than the council does. So this is sort of information that's there that I've taken from the council. And then what I also got at the bottom is you can then navigate to the next post, or if you want to share it, you can pump it up to Facebook, or if you just want to put it out, if you want to email it. So we also have sort of an active Facebook group as well. So what I tend to do is put these onto our Facebook group as well, but there are other groups in our village as well, so we can cross post as well. So that's sort of how that works. Something that I've got on this particular post, which might be of interest to people, is here I've got sort of, this is our little high street and the stores. But what I've also got is that one of the other sites has got a lot of information in their site about what's happening at all the different stores in the village. So what I've done here, I've used an iframe. And so the people stay on the Residents Association site, but they can see that particular page. And if they want to, then they can go off to it. But it's just sort of giving, okay, this is sort of an update. So trying to sort of, thinking about other people, where we've got sort of like a commercial sort of site where you want people to remain on your site. Using an iframe is quite a useful sort of technique to display other things, but use to keep people on your site as well. Yep, what else? Okay, so the other thing that we also have is sort of, I say, more village use. So this is where I've now got sort of older posts that are coming up. So this is quite useful sort of feature that in Hello, where you can, when you've got the posts section, you can add sort of tabs. So what I've done, I've added tabs there. So because these are all categorized, then they drop into different categories. So on the home page, they're all there, but once they go past their 30-day time expiry, then they then come into the different categories here. So sort of like the environment one here. So what we've got here is, there's a program to allow sort of wilding of grass verges. So what the Blue Heart scheme is to put signposts up to remind the council operatives not to go over there with their super duper lawnmowers and cut everything down, leave certain areas for wilding, and that sort of encourages sort of wildlife to grow. We've also got sort of things about the oak processionary moth. If you've got that in your area, it's a pretty nasty thing if you actually brush past these moths and get these really nasty barbs in you. So that's sort of this sort of environmental thing. So although they're sort of time expired, they're still of interest to people. So we've also got other things that have been happening. So litter pickers, trees, hedge planting. So there's quite a lot of sort of information that is also available, but it's not sort of headline news at the particular moment in time.
Les, we've got a question from someone's asking, let's have a look, from Stephen. How do you automatically expire a post to be archived?
Right, okay, I can show you that. So if I go to my, I think it's this one. Yeah, so this is, I'm in Elementor now. I thought the people might ask this one. So what you do, you have all your tab items here, and then you create a template which has the sort of the category attached to it. So on here, you say that this template it's got an ID, and that shows you which on that template what to put in this particular tab. So if I go to the environment one, so that's community, let's go into business one. So it's got a different template ID. So that ID is saying look up anything that's associated, has got a category of business in it, so that it does it all automatically. So it's sort of dynamically changing that information. So once the 30-day period is time bombed, then that's not on the front page. The post is still there, the category is still there. So the template pulls that up and then displays it here.
So where do you control that 30-day? I mean, for instance, if you wanted to change it to 20.
Okay. Yep. So let's just exit out of that then. So on the pages. So this is my home page. Nothing's here. There we go.
I see you're a managed WP fan.
So this is the posts section, if you can see that. So if I edit posts, and there you can do sort of, there's lots of choices you've got there. So you can change what type of view that is. Columns, so I've got it set for 3, that looks about right. Posts per page, you can adjust that. Then down here, I think it's on query. Yeah, so query, you have past month, or you can past quarter, past week, whatever you want, and that will provide that sort of, that takes it off of that post. So all the posts are there, but for homepage, it's actively changing, because I conveniently realized this morning when I looked at the site that this one that I put up was, I put it up on just over a month ago and it dropped off. So I thought, so I just changed the date and it
just to get you, Leslie, it's not so much that you're archiving a post or doing anything with the post itself. It's a question of displaying just 30 days, and then
that's
anything
right.
that falls below that horizon just doesn't appear on the page. So nothing's changed in the post per se.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, got that.
Yeah, so say some things sort of time bomb, if it's like, for example, if it's roadworks or something that people need to be aware of, and that's got a time expiry, well, then I'll just delete that off. Once that's roadworks are completed, that's it. There's no further interest. But some of those things that I was showing you there, which will be sort of more of interest to the community, we'll let them run a bit longer. I do have sort of an archive here that actually sort of like previous year's stuff. So I just sort of started to do that, but that's primarily how that works.
Cool. Thank you very much indeed for that, Les.
Okay.
And there's some tips as well there on
yes,
on
I was
chat
just
about using
that.
Crocker blocks. Go on, Tanisha.
Yeah, nice. Nick was saying that's for categorizing and dynamically showing the blog, but there's also a plugin called Post Expiration or something similar, which actually removes the post if that's what someone's looking for. But for SEO purposes, we want to try and keep as many words on there for as long as possible. So so it just depends on what you're looking for. And Catherine says she's done that with Crocker blocks as well, with dynamic dated posts. So there's lots of options for that. So thank you so much, Les. Been great.
Thank you very much.
Any more do you want me to show you? Because I've got things like payments things. But
we've only got, let me just check on the time.
Oh, you're on time. Yeah, that's okay.
So we've got about another 15.
But,
all right, I'll stop there.
Make sure you show it. Just let us know and show it again. And also, I just want to say, everyone, if you're not okay with me sharing your, because I was just thinking, I've got so many links through, and the first forum we made was actually about sharing your websites and sharing your work via via the Web Creators Toolbox. So unless someone's not happy with it, Les and everyone else, I'm actually going to link your sites anyway, as long as you've popped it in the chat box. But
that's fine.
So please put that in there.
And also, if I may, I'm just going to take you off for a minute, Les, and then I'm going to go through this. You sent me one slide, and I'll show you the one I'm interested in. Maybe we'll save that for a future occasion.
I think definitely come back.
I'll show you which one it is. Oh, Tanisha, can you hand me back? Let me get my hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to. If you can let me have back, I can share again.
I'll do that now. Make host. There you are.
Okay.
And then so we're gonna run through Mike and then some Q&A. We have about 7 questions to answer. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. I'll try and get this back up as quickly as possible. Oh, hang on. Which one are you seeing? You're seeing. Okay, we're seeing the wrong one. Should we be ready for this? Okay, hold on. I'm just going to have to pull this back up again. Oh, there we go. Are you seeing Showcase, Les?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so just very quickly, Les, there was that one I'm interested in again, coming back to that one in the future.
Okay,
yes, so that's, that would be useful. If we could come back to that, that looked like an interesting little bit of functionality that a lot of people want.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm happy to do that.
Cool. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Les.
Okay, thank you, Les. So let's
got
crack
Mike
on.
Mike up next, and then Q&A. Teshi,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you want to add anything, but Mike up next, and then
Mike.
we'll run through it all.
Okay.
So,
You're
do you want
able to allow me to share my
Mike
screen?
should already have sharing privileges because I gave it when I was a host, but Mike, do you want to double check that? And Jim, do you want to stop sharing?
Opt.
Perfect. Thank you. Right. Okay. So this is one of my clients, and
That looks delicious.
let's see. Here you go. That's better. Right. Okay. So this is one of my sites, one of my clients, and they wanted to have something that was quite unique. So what's interesting is there's a Sicilian bakery that, when COVID-19 came along, they were about to go out of business if they didn't completely shift their business model, because they primarily sold cakes to high-end retailers and run experiential sub clubs. Both of those, were killed off. So they started an online food delivery service once a week for various Sicilian dishes. So what we built in 10 days was a complete custom WooCommerce experience. So what we've got here is 2 static weeks of kind of the pasta dish and the zucchini are delivered now every week. But then you've got the specials, the Milanese sub club, which changes week on week. So this is this current week, and then upcoming, you've got these 3 weeks. And these are WooCommerce products, but you never would have seen WooCommerce products set out like this. So this is a lot of advanced custom builds and a lot of customization. Okay. And the beauty is, actually, last night I completed a whole range of automations that each week at midnight on Tuesday, the next product just rolls up. So this automatically changes to the next one, the pesky spouter. So it's taken a lot to do that. If we go into one of these, so this week, for example, in a special, again, this is a WooCommerce product page, but again, laid out completely custom style. And when you add it, and again, all of this data is pulled in directly from advanced custom builds onto the product page. When you then add it to the basket, you're then presented with an options page to add additions before going to the checkout. And again, this client, they've sold probably about 30 to 40% of their sales comes from upselling the additions. So again, it's a really nice new feature that we put in. So the plugins that we used were advanced custom builds. Now, how do I just want to move that down. Any custom skin or Elementor custom skin to produce bespoke listings for products on WooCommerce. Dynamic conditions, which I've mentioned before a lot, it's that allows for kind of products to be shown within certain dates, and also for certain things to happen within certain products. So for example, if we go back and go to a product for a following week, so for this current week, you'll see that the buy button, add recipe parcel button is displayed, and also the dates and so forth. If we go back to a future week,
you can't see the buy button.
You won't see the buy button. So you'll see a notify me and the date range, and then kind of all the other options will automatically show once it's within the date range. Again, this happens automatically. Whereas before I was doing this manually every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. which was a rush 5-minute job. So doing this means that they can batch process a load of recipes within 5 minutes, rather than doing manual change.
So I'm curious as to why they wouldn't want pre-orders, why they wouldn't want to know in advance. So
because we tried it that way and it just didn't work. So this is kind of the only way we could do it.
It's nice though.
So the other one which is very good is advanced post queries, and that allows for some really kind of granular kind of queries through the post system on Elementor, which is kind of good, but kind of advanced post queries just supercharges kind of what you can do in controlling how posts are ordered and displayed. And then enhanced Ajax add to cart for WooCommerce, that's a mouthful. And again, that's allowed us to do some really neat stuff with kind of how normally when you add a product to a basket, you're taken automatically to the checkout page, or it refreshes the page and jumps you to the top of the page. And we wanted the page to behave in a very kind of different way to optimize the buying experience. So yeah, so there's a lot of kind of custom build that's kind of gone into that.
Mike, so the question here from Les, how does the client receive the order? They just get an email? Is it cheap and cheerful? Or?
Yeah, so it's WooCommerce for and free. So you just check out, and then the client will get notified via email that an order has been placed, but also they log in to the back end. We've done a lot around kind of, there's also custom delivery plugins, so you can only check out for a certain week. So you can only buy this week and also have it delivered this Friday, because they only deliver on Fridays. So again, it's kind of making that super clear to the customer when you do that. And then the client logs in and picks up all their orders, and we've done also some cool stuff with packing slips as well. So it goes through the production kitchen for them to gather all the ingredients together, and we've got a summary that they can print off rather than going order by order. So so that's that.
Thank you very much, Mike. I just can't understand why you couldn't find the time to do the meetup as well. I did just. Really, what are you doing with your time? Okay, that's fantastic.
From Paul, he said he may have missed it, but how did you do the additions and upselling page? So once they add to basket.
So that was using. I had to use, I think it was a mixture of kind of Ajax add to cart, but also Ultimate Add-ons has the add to cart button where I hand coded the button for desktop and had it behave differently for mobile. So the hand coded button for desktop, I put in the kind of the WooCommerce add to basket shortcode, which you can then nominate a unique page where I've got all the additions. So when instead of redirecting to the cart, to the basket, I redirected them to the additions page. Okay, so is it a standard page of additions that's always the additions, or have you got specific additions for specific dishes? No, it's a standard page for additions at the moment. Now I could go in and have tick boxes in AFC, Advanced Custom Fields, for each dish to say which additions they want. I haven't gone that advanced yet, but it's something we could implement in the future. Nice. And then Mama Seti said, how can I build a separate WooCommerce dashboard away from my site builder? I'm not sure if that's connected to your build though. Would you have any tips on that? So if it's a separate kind of listings away from, they've, as well as doing the dishes, they've also got a range of cakes, which actually looks like a very standardized WooCommerce job. So I've just separated things out with categories and said, right, if it's in this category, I want to display it completely differently to other categories. So that may or may not answer the question that you had. Thank you for that. Right, so let's jump straight into Q&A whilst you're here, Mike, and whilst everyone's here. A few minutes. Sorry if we end up running over
And obviously we fully understand if you need to end up leaving. We're going to try and run through the questions. Only about 7 left because we've done quite a few. Do they deliver to devices? Am I even saying it right?
Devices.
Devices?
I'm guessing, yeah.
Do they deliver to devices?
London delivery only.
London delivery only. So we're just going to have to, well, actually, what about if I order it, Keith, and I eat it for you and I send you a photo to prove that I did that for you? Okay, so let's get through the questions. Right, so what is the best way to navigate an Elementor site? Jump cuts or using a drop-down menu? And can you have a site using both? When you say jump cuts, I'm assuming that you're wanting a menu. It's like you're talking about the experience on a one-page site where you click the menu and it jumps down, right? I'm assuming that's all it is. You're just moving from block to block using the menu button. Yes, of course, that's possible to have on the site. So for example, you can have a standard menu at the top of the page that does all the normal things with the drop downs and things like that. Then halfway down the page or below your hero or header, you might decide to have a second sub menu that jumps people across. Quite a lot of sites do that. So yes, there is the option to have both. Okay, great. Yeah, there is the option to have both. So it's not really an issue. Yeah, exactly. You just sort out the ID class. Thank you. That's it. The ID class is linked to each section. So you go to the section, I think it's in advanced, just beneath the stretchy bit somewhere there. And there'll be an area to create a label for the class, and then you'll just call that label from the other side. Audio seems to have dropped off. Don't know if it's just you. Probably is.
For me. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, probably it's just you. Check your sound settings. Right, next set of questions. I made a Google Doc. So let's do this, right? How to have an Elementor also compatible with Google Mobile Accelerator, GMP or something. Now, I'm not sure about this. So Mike, is there something you know about, or does anyone else know about? GMP, Google Mobile Accelerator. Could you elaborate, please? That was Tarek's question. Could you elaborate? Yeah, it sounds like AMP, but they've written GMP, Google Mobile Accelerator, so not sure. Elaborate on that, please, and we'll see what we can do. Cheryl, did you join the WhatsApp group already? Could you do that and I'll share it with you? It's just we've got 3 minutes. So if I try and search now, I might not find anything. Nick Obi, has anyone had any issues with PayPal accepting credit cards through WooCommerce? Issues with PayPal full stop, to be very honest with you. PayPal's constantly having issues. We use Square. I'm sure a lot of people use other ones now, Stripe. And I've been watching a lot of things where they say, you know, better than PayPal, better than PayPal. So I think overall PayPal is just having a lot of issues, especially since the lockdown. I have plenty of sites working, but one whereby PayPal only allows bank transfers. PayPal support is less than helpful, definitely. In fact, it's terrible. It allows bank transfers, just no credit card. Removed, reinstalled, tried PayPal, checkout, etc., etc. But it doesn't seem to work. It is a PayPal account. Have you tried making a new one? I had a very similar issue the other day, and I just made another account, and it worked. So it was PayPal. Not sure if anyone else has any feedback. Please drop that in. For AMP, for Tarek, have a look at what Angel has popped in there. It might be useful for you. Yeah, Stripe is very good. I've processed hundreds of membership transactions without any problems. And I think that's what Les had as the payment option. So next session, as long as you're willing to come back, Les, Les will be giving a talk. We'll get Les to give his show and tell focused on that.
I knew that payment panel was going to be useful. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we'll get Les to do that. Next one, using some supply templates, and it seems to be very hard to remove margins and padding as they do not appear anywhere. Any tips? Biggest tip is use Hello Theme by Elementor, and then just copy the template. Not like literally. I mean, by the time you start copying it, you realize you could do something better. But a lot of these templates are quite restrictive. They're not all designed to be tweaked or edited by Elementor. Not all template designers are considering Elementor. So it might be something about it might be a little bit of a rock and a hard place there. Okay. Okay, and again, anything that you guys have to add, please do add. Right, there's a plugin that allows grab and stretching margins and padding. Right, hold for the link. Perfect, Catherine's going to show that. So just have a look at that. But within, Greg also says check your column gap. There you go. But I think he's just finding it hard to remove the margins and padding that come with the supplied template. Now, AJ, if you're meaning Elementor's blocks themselves, then that's just you needing to go to the advanced tab. But if you're meaning another template, right? Okay, perfect. So you realize, good. All right. So Catherine recently bought pagebuildercloud.com. She's popped the link in there, but I'm going to pop it here. She says it works with a lot of page builders, not just Elementor. And she says she's not selling for them. She just really likes the tool. So even though it wasn't a question, I thought I'd just reshare that in case anyone missed it in the timeline, chat line. Stephen, right. So Stephen has the BromleyTheatreGuild.org. I'm going to pop that up because that's a little bit of a show and tell issue. But I think, Stephen, Jim, can you click that and pop that up on your screen, please? It's in the chat. But I think, Stephen.
The page builder or the Bromley?
Bromley, right. So Stephen's saying that on the news page, he has the header and everything. But when you go to individual stories, which I guess are posts, the template is lost, for example, the header, and he can't seem to sort it out. So again, if anyone has any thoughts, pitch in. But I'm thinking here, A, do you have the pro version? Because if you have the pro version, then you probably should just set, yeah, you do. So have you set your layout for posts? Because maybe if you haven't set your layout for posts, that might be why you don't have that header there. So if you set your layout for posts in the single builder or page builder, template builder for posts, what then you can do is obviously you can say featured image and like get the featured image. What's going on here? You're right there, Jim?
Yep, sorry. Are you seeing the Bromley Theatre Guild site?
No, we're seeing nothing.
Okay, sorry. It says I'm screen sharing, but
you're screen sharing, but not. I don't think you're screen sharing the correct window.
Okay, cool. I'll try that. Yeah, hold on a minute.
Right. So Stephen, as I was saying, perhaps you might just need to set the post layout, and then obviously once you set the post layout, okay, Jim, stop sharing for a second. Let me share it.
Yeah.
Yeah, using Astra. Oh, Mike, you're an Astra fan. I'd say that we're on that. It's still the same thing. Set that layout for the posts, because a lot of people assume that the blog post will take the same style layout as the website. But obviously, if you've got Elementor Pro, you have that ability to edit your blog posts and set how you want them to be. So, Mike, do you want to pitch in on that?
Yeah, just create a custom loop with I mean, you can use the Elementor Pro theme builder.
Yeah, exactly. For the blog.
And then if you need anything more custom than that, Ele custom skins or Elementor custom skins. And if you need a more advanced filtering, then kind of the advanced queries plugins that I showed you. Again, there are so many different plugins that will all achieve the same thing. They're just the ones that I know and kind of the workflow that I would use.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. You're sharing, yeah, Bromley Theatre.
Yes. So Bromley Theatre. So this is what he was just saying. So when you get to the news, so it's a lovely site, by the way. Well done. But when you get to the news, so everything's fine, header's fine. But once he gets to the news page, that's still fine. And then the problem occurs when you click on a post. But I can already see you've got a different header. So you haven't been consistent with that header. So you must have two headers, or at least different styles. So that already means you don't have a global choice or setting for your headers. So that's probably going to mean that the rest of it is the same, which is why that header, because it's not a global header anyway, won't be showing here. So like Mike said, you want to go into the template area for the blogs, and you want to design this area. So at the moment, it does look like you've got the featured image in this, and it looks like you've got this as a boxed area with a background. So you don't have a full width area in here, which is possibly why it's not showing what you're showing.
That could be the page settings. So just to make sure that you've got, say, Elementor full width, rather than trying to pull it in from the theme, because that looks like an Astra default page. So again, just to make sure that you set up the blog loop or blog archive page through the theme builder in Elementor, and then set up the display conditions for that.
Yeah. There you go. Great. And I think one last question. What am I looking for? It was here anyway. So we've got this. Don't worry, Keith. We've noted to make that request for save as you go. And then I think, oh, I pasted that twice. There we go. And we did the automatically expire post. So we're all done. We're all done on Q&A.
Okay.
So I'll stop sharing.
Thank you very much. And I can share back the final bit. So
we'll just do the final bits and close off. Thank you so much, guys.
Indeed. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing the Q&A screen. Is that right? So we released another shorter version of the survey right at the start of this session tonight, the meetup, and asked you what the topics you most wanted to cover. We didn't get too many responses, but we did get different responses from the survey we've done in full. So tonight, we've only got a few responses literally, but top of the list was actually security. And then show and ask, practical questions, and show and tell. So again, I don't know where I'll place those in relation to the others that we've had, but security, we won't be forgetting about that either. That's certainly not a topic that's going away anytime soon.
We'll add it to the agenda for upcoming events.
Will do. Okay, I think therefore that is it.
Let me just answer these last couple of questions. So Nicky said, for newbies to Elementor, I find that the difficulty is that with Elementor Pro, it can conflict with some themes like Astra, where you have the theme panel, etc. It's knowing which tools you have and where you're setting stuff up. It can be very confusing. So don't worry about that. Bear that in mind. It can be confusing. So that's some comfort to know that it is a bit confusing. And then Francesca has asked if we'll be meeting in London again. Workplace near Paddington, you like that? Well, we will be doing either there or yesterday I did pop over to the South Bank to view another WeWork office there, which had a lovely view. I'm just thinking of a little bit of a change of scenery. So we'll definitely be meeting again. Exactly. And if it's not in Paddington, which is right next to a great train station for commuting into the city, it'll be right next to Waterloo. And we've pointed out it'll also be right next to some great donuts and things like that. So thank you so much for coming along, everyone. I'm going to take all your links and I'm going to pop them into the forum area. You know, we've put something up there. It just says bragging wall, show us your best work. I'm going to change that a little bit. I put it there just so we can show you what it's going to be. I think we'll just have it like community, community websites, community builds, something like that. But it will be there. And I think it'll be nice. So we're going to try and regularly share the things that come out of our community. So if you want to pop any links in just before you leave, paste them in. Once we're done, I will copy everything out of the chat and then I will do that. So thank you so much to Mike for coming along.
Thank you.
Even on furlough, Mike, you're
We won't tell the government that I was working this evening.
No, we won't tell them that you're working this evening. Teshi, thank you so much as well. I know you didn't even really speak that much, but thank you so much. And hopefully everyone will be seeing all the great marketing and stuff that Teshi will be working with us on. Thank you, Jim, for hosting your first hosting and with Elementor webinar, which is not the normal Zoom webinar, which is not the normal Zoom setup, everyone. So imagine he did a very, very, he did a very good job for the first time. Yeah, well done, Jim. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, it's been lovely as always. And we look forward to speaking with you either by email, make sure you look out for your notifications, by Meetup, WhatsApp if you join there, LinkedIn or anywhere else. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Good evening.
Right, let me copy these out. All right. Right, got those links, and I shall be seeing you all later.
See you all later.